So today we're jumping into the Infernal Faction Trials. We're going to look at the boss, how you achieve it, where you put the champions, which champions you need, which champions are better than others, which ones you don't need to really worry about, gear I used and how I got through it. Let's jump into the video. Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Misstical Gaming. We're back into Watch Your Realms and it's another faction trial today. Going to go with the Infernals. Now this is probably the hardest one for me, I think. Maybe my team makeup. I found this harder than the others I've done. Now I jump into it and it's more chaotic than anything else. It's not very fluid, it's not as well put together, I think, as the others. So there's a couple of essential things. Firstly, the team makeup for myself. Essentially, I have no idea how you wouldn't do this without Setram. I think you're going to really struggle there. And then it's some other DPS. I'm using Nox, I'm using Zilitude, but essentially any other DPS will do there. And a tank, and then Dolores and Autumn I think are pretty viable for the team makeup as well, but other than that it's a mix and a match. The tank is sort of any old tank. The DPS doesn't have to be Zilitude or Nox, it can be sort of any other DPS you've got there, but it would have to be good solid DPS. I don't think bringing in the likes of some rares are gonna get you away from that. Epics. If you're bringing in the epics, then your gear is going to have to be much greater than your hero is, so you can probably get away with less gear by bringing in legendaries. So again, I don't have things like Hex, so if you brought him along, that would probably aid you significantly as well. Anyway, that being said, let's jump into the run and probably get me out of the way as well. So that's me out of the way. Now I place Setram down on that left hand tile of that block of 3 on the right hand side, so he can always hit the boss. I then place down Dolores and I place down an Autumn as well. I'm just waiting for their ultimates to come up online. When they're up online, we can start smacking the boss down. The only thing I do is that right hand side I place my next major DPS. For me, that is Zilitude. She goes down on that right hand side. That's the only issue for me, is the right hand side and the boss. So essentially for me it's the boss, the right hand side, that left hand side there where they come down, and then all the way across the bottom, not really an issue. Your tank and a healer can sort of take care of that all by themselves. It's getting that damage down on the boss and keeping that boss's damage keep going, so you actually keep that shield gone and you stop that heal growth from it and all that sort of good stuff. So it's just keeping sustained aggressive attack on the boss. So to that end, as soon as I've got enough coins, I then put down Nocturne. Nocturne is there, so when Setram runs out, the shield will go off on the boss, and then to stop him giving himself some big heals, we then start doing some damage with Nocturne. Now he's not going to take a great deal of damage, but it's not the idea of Nocturne. The idea of Nocturne is just to keep him down and keep a sustained aggressive attack on that boss, just to keep that going. Now, we're not on about doing big numbers to the boss, we're on about getting rid of that shield, and then comes his ultimate and we can just start tickling away. Now we know when we hit the boss first time with Setram and Dolores and Autumn's ultimate, we went past the 50% mark. We got to 45-ish%. So we know if we can get the boss down to sub 50%, next time those ultimates are up, we'll be able to blitz through it. So that's sort of the target range there. So here's Nox just finishing off and we're down into the 40-something%. So we're theoretically in a good place. Now, when Nox's ultimate runs out, we're going to recoil him because we want those coins and his job is done. The boss is on 32%, and now the ultimates are ready to go, so we can trigger all those ultimates off and get working on the boss. The only other thing we do is then take, for me, I've just taken any random 2, it happens on this case to be, so as soon as Autumn's away, Amani's placed down, and it's just to keep that DPS going on that right hand side, because that is all we've got to be concerned about. Remember Setram, where we placed him, he will hit that bottom lane for us. So that bottom lane, they'll be getting some damage from Setram, so that's nice and easy for us. Now the boss is dead. Now as long as we can get rid of everything on the right hand side, there's no need for an additional tank. That is the right hand side done and dusted. We can start recovering everyone, get them back, get some coins back in, and we are just waiting now for our bigger DPS to turn up. So there's Nocturne. I can put Nocturne down now. I can face Nocturne over to the side. I've got a healer and Dolores on my one tank, and I've got Setram and Nox just to take care of these last couple of ads. There's no boss left, there's no ads coming down from the right hand side. It's a very easy little fight now. Now, mistakes I made with 2020 hindsight, it's good to look back. I did not have Autumn in a morale set, and that was wrong. I definitely should have done 100%. She should be in there on a morale set, so she is giving that 4% extra damage to your main DPS. It will make the boss that much easier. Every little bit helps. So would absolutely advise that in your worst, because she doesn't get hit or anything. She's mostly there to give those buffs of crit damage buff, and your champions probably don't need a crit rate buff by the time you're here anyway. So that's what she's there for. So absolutely put her straight away in morale set and take on that 4%. She doesn't get hit, she doesn't supply anything else, either that or invigoration if you had to. So that was the first time through, first time cleared. That's all done for me now. Another one out of the way, and something I do not have to worry about again, thankfully. So gear wise, that's the gear I've got on my Setram. I think it's pretty good gear. It's not fantastic. He's overstocked on crit rate, and that's it really. I mean, his artifacts all done. I don't have his exclusive artifact. No idea why. There's Nox's gear, skills all done, and yeah, love my Nox build. Does some brilliant damage. Fantastic champion. Absolutely brilliant is our Nox. Do love him. There's Zilitude. Again, over crit rate, so I'm losing some stats there, but. And she gets a bonus there of healing effect +8, which is always handy. It's precisely what you need on someone who's not healing. So that's her done there. Ulrim, yeah, I've got him, and I got some tempered wheel stuff that wasn't terrible stats. I mean, the rolls aren't brilliant, but I thought I'd try it out. And there he is. His skills aren't all done. His artifact is all done. I don't really use him that much. This is my second healer, or the healer that goes down for him, Ferry. So yeah, his gear it's all right. It's nothing brilliant. It's not the best gear I had available. His job isn't that tricky. It's just go down there and heal the tank and supply me with a bit of time to clear the boss and that right hand side. Really, he doesn't have a major job to do. After that, it's just random DPS. So any DPS you've leveled up, I don't think it overly matters. Amulets you've artifacts you've got, chuck them in. This is what I've got. It's just gears I've got left over. Dolores is in, yeah, invigoration with attack and attack percentage, and maybe rave regen where I've got it, and she's in your well, yeah, no amulet. Oh, there you go, artifact. Gear is just leftover gear, and there's Autumn as well. She was just in some gear too, in case she got hit. He's only 50. Artifact, if you've got one you think are necessary. I wouldn't do that again. I would stick her in the morale set and claim that 4%. I think that is absolutely crucial going forward for her. I think that's the build to go for. I didn't do that. Right, let's go and have a quick look. So these are the recommended heroes. We used 3 of them. How you get past without a Setram, I don't know. I don't know how you do without a Setram. He's absolutely crucial. There should be highly recommended and almost a must-have role sitting above that, and there you would have Setram. And this is the reason why. When we look at the boss here, defense really low, magic resistance is massive, massively high magic resistance there on the boss, and the only person who's not doing magic damage in the whole of the Infernal team, I think, is Setram. I'm struggling to think of someone else who's not doing magic damage. All the other ads and things like that are taking magic damage, whereas he's not. So there we go. He does that advanced graveyard on the Acolyte Sanctuary, so he provides everyone with a shield that lasts 10 seconds, which deals damage to nearby enemies. So we want to get that off the boss as quickly as possible. The remaining shield strength will be converted into his HP, so that's the heal that he's getting. So if you don't get that shield down on him, anything that's left on that shield heals him up for his HP. So you want to get rid of that shield. That's why Setram was there to deal the DPS on him, and Nocturne was there just to keep that shield down as low as possible, because otherwise you're going to make a pain for yourself. But don't worry about the graveyard recall so much, because kill the boss as quickly as you can, and then the right hand side, the left hand side you haven't got to worry about. As long as you're killing everything, it's fine. It really isn't that much of an issue, but it's that high magic resistance. You want physical damage or normal damage on that boss, whereas the other characters, like we see the ads coming down now, higher defense, and they have magic resistance, so magic damage works fine on them. And then again, the zombies, almost no defense and no magic resistance, and the blood carrions, again, defense and no magic resistance. So there we go. You want to make sure that you've got physical damage for the boss, which I think is only Sectram, but tell me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Absolutely 100% feel free to do that. That's going to be the issue you have. If you don't have a Sectram, I think you're really going to struggle for this. I haven't got a Lord, but, well, apart from Pyros, who was the Shard summon many moons ago, but if you've got him, absolutely chuck him in for the Lord bonus and skill. Every little bit helps, but essentially I would imagine Twin Feet, something like that would be much better for you. And that is me done there. Luckily enough, I don't have to do it again. It's one of the more horrible ones I think that's out there, because you must, as far as I can see, you must have a Sectram, and it was a bit of a mishmash for me. So right, that's me done for today. Thank you very much for your time. If you could leave me the old thumbs up, like and subscribe, that would help me out massively, and I'll see you in a video again soon. Cheers for your time. Thank you. Goodbye.